Is Ayanokouji going to leave Horikita's class in the next and last volume of the second year? This has been theorized for years, but being already in spring break, this event is about to happen. And after seeing one of the images of the volume, I have personally come to a conclusion of what is going to happen. That is why today, I am going to explain to you if Ayanokouji will move to Ichinose's class, or on the contrary, will sink her and expel her after having broken into 1,000 pieces in the previous volume. First, I will pose a scenario where Ayanokouji makes Ichinose leave school, and then I will pose another where he goes to his class and leaves Horikita's. And in the end, I will tell you which of the two I think has more possibilities of happening. With the first option, as you will remember from Volume 12, which I have not yet made a summary, since I am still finishing summarizing Volume 9, but you have an analysis on the channel in case you did not see it, where he commented on the Ayanokouji vs Ichinose scene. In this scene, Ayanokouji literally wipes the floor with Ichinose, knowing that he can't win the test due to the type of exam it is. Ayanokouji decides to break all the trust that Ichinose had in him by revealing that he was the one responsible for those letters that talked about her past as a thief. This was very confusing for many, since Ayanokouji had been making Ichinose become a great leader since Volume 8 who would stand up to the rest of the classes, all to break her into 1,000 pieces in less than an hour. And this in itself has an explanation. Remember the deal he made with Horikita. If he had lost, he would have had to stay half of the third year in Horikita's class. And as he himself said in Volume 6, he's going to leave Horikita's class for the third year. For this reason, he couldn't lose against Ichinose, and to win in that exam, where Ichinose was almost invincible, he had to attack her so she couldn't pay attention, even if that means destroying her mentally. The thing here is, a theory of why Ayanokouji got closer to Ichinose than the rest of the leaders is because his class was the weakest of the three, less capable academically and physically than Class A, with less potential than Horikita's class, and easy prey for Ryuen's class. If this imbalance had continued like this, by this time, Ichinose's class would be more than 400 points below Ryuen. And why would Ayanokouji want this not to happen? Well, as it is revealed to us in Volume 12, he had a plan for the 4 classes to end up in Class A with the same points. Of course, that plan no longer makes sense at this point. For this reason, and taking advantage of the deal with Horikita, he got rid of the responsibility of having to be in Horikita's class for half of the third year, and on the other hand, he eliminated a failed class like Ichinose's today, so he can focus on the fight against Ryuen by moving to Arisu's class, now that she has supposedly been expelled. Does this make sense? Personally, I think so. The only thing is that it doesn't fit with Ayanokouji's attitude in the previous volumes, where he supported Ichinose and helped her become a good leader. But well, maybe in his "everyone is my tool" mentality, he has seen that Ichinose can't take it anymore and has decided to cut her head off himself. Because if that is the plan, probably in this scene, we see how he manipulates her and forces her to leave school, making her class not only lose their leader, but also lose 300 class points for leaving, which would leave her class more than 400 points behind Class C. Now, I personally want this to happen, but honestly, no. I like Ichinose quite a bit. Her personality is perhaps a bit cliche, but I think that in most situations, the character behaves quite well, and she usually contributes more than she subtracts from the scenes. Also, if one of the classes goes into the abyss, the exams will be a bit of a hassle, since we would have one interesting confrontation, for example between Class A and Class C, and the other would be very boring between Class B and Ichinose's class. Now we are going to talk about the other possibility, where Ayanokouji sank Ichinose on purpose to now rescue her and make her re-emerge even stronger, in addition to going to her class. This theory, which has been talked about for years, makes a lot more sense if we take into account how unnatural the scene between the two in Volume 12 was. After spending more than 5 volumes shaping Ichinose and gaining her trust since the beginning of the series, he now throws it away. Or that's what it may seem at first glance. If Ayanokouji still has plans with Ichinose, it's because he still sees potential in her. But blesse, then why did he decide to destroy her? Well, apart from what I mentioned before, he had to win in order to be able to leave Horikita's class in the third year. Ichinose had developed too much of a dependence on him, and when other people find out that he was the one behind the letters, that can affect their relationship disastrously. For this reason, he told her so directly, in addition to eliminating any possible scavengers who may be spying on them, since at that moment, there are only the 2 of them. With this, Ayanokouji has all of spring break to think of a plan for Ichinose, and when the day of the visit comes, this is what I think is going to happen. Ayanokouji is going to repeat and confirm that he was responsible for the letters and the rest of the instigations, but that he did it for her, or something like that he invented. After all, I think the purpose of this move is for Ichinose to become more loyal to him, but without having the weakness of not knowing who he really is. Before that exam, Ichinose trusted Ayanokouji more than the members of her class, but she had the disadvantage that this trust was false, since Ayanokouji had done many dirty things behind her back. For this reason, by solving this, he manages to make Ichinose have an even more powerful bond with him and eliminates any possible fracture in the future, in addition to getting her to change to his class, in the case that he goes to Ichinose's class. Since I have a feeling that Arisu is not going to be expelled, I would think it's crap, but something gives me a feeling that since she let herself win, Ryuen is not going to accept the result, and in the end, he will end up cancelling the bet. If that happens, then almost 100% Ayanokouji goes to Ichinose's class, and if this does not happen, and Arisu leaves the school, then I have a feeling that I am not so clear about what will happen. Class A without a leader will be a fucking disaster. But personally, I think that the best class that Ayanokouji can move to is Ichinose's. Since in Class 8 there is not much to do honestly. There are only 5 relevant characters in that class, the rest, we only know that they are very good physically and academically. But as I said, I personally think that the most likely thing to happen is the second option, where Ayanokouji moves to Ichinose's class and Arisu is not expelled. Now what do you think? Will Arisu really leave school? Will Ichinose be expelled or saved by Ayanokouji? I read you all for the comments.